Hello from the holy city of Jerusalem. But I don't know if it's so holy these days. It's Hanukkah and it should be holy, but I don't know if it's really that holy. First of all, I want to tell you something about Jerusalem, about a few issues, also about Israel, that you don't usually read in the mainstream media. People don't really report about this for various reasons, especially for one reason, and the reason is money. Some news websites, I'm not mentioning any names, but have been paid off, for instance, by Christian missionaries. They receive money, donations, and a lot of donations. So various English-speaking news sites would not really report too much. They do, but limited. But they usually don't report too much about activities of Christian missionaries in Jerusalem, unless the Israeli anti-counter missionary organization Yad L'Achim reports something on their website. So these English Israeli news websites, they do report, but as I said, very limited. But on the other hand, they also report about not missionary activities, but let's say if the evil missionary, Jew-hating evangelical Christians have a certain congress, a certain gathering in Jerusalem, and donate a lot to the Likud party of Bibi Netanyahu, for instance. So these English-speaking mainstream news sites do also report about that. So I live here in Jerusalem in the Abu Tur neighborhood. It's called a posh neighborhood, but not everybody living in this neighborhood is rich or wealthy or whatever you're going to call it, or posh. I'm not, and many other people are not. It depends on how you find an apartment and how affordable it is and how much rent you pay. So you could make it here in this neighborhood, even if you don't necessarily have so much money. But it's a nice neighborhood. What bothered me when I moved here 8 years ago, more than 8 years ago, were we had a lot of people here, Gentiles living, from working, like foreigners, working for the UN. The UN is nearby, it's across, and for the EU. So this staff working mainly from the States and also from Germany, working for EU and UN, they are very Jew-hating. They are very anti-Semitic and very much against Israel, and they are totally pro-Palestinian. So if you go to the headquarters of the UN here in Jerusalem, which is located at the Tayelet, at the promenade, you will not find Jews working there. You will only find 90% or more than 90% are Palestinians, and a small percentage are people from abroad working for the UN, mainly from the United States. Gentiles, not Jews. And as I said, they're very against Israel and very Jew-hating. The same actually with the so-called cops working for the EU, and they are stationed somewhere in Arab villages or Arab neighborhoods outside Jerusalem, helping the Palestinians, what they call against Jewish settlers, whatever that means. So this is like the neighborhood, but Baruch Hashem, a lot of these Gentile staff of the UN and EU have moved out of Abu Tur, but they moved next door to the newer part of Amona Natsif. It's a different neighborhood right next door. So I got up this morning, and what do I see? What do I see? This was my phone, I just turned it off. I see right across is the cinema complex Yes Planet, and as I showed you in the video, I give another link in the box below to my video. The missionaries, they are still active. They have a new Christian missionary center right outside in one of the buildings of the Yes Planet of the cinema complex. And they are very active there. They get there in the morning at around 8:30. And at the moment they're hanging up, as I see, well, they are doing some yoga stretching outside. But they, every day now, also yesterday, they hang up more Christmas decoration. So not our entire neighborhood, but the houses, the buildings in our neighborhood facing this Yes Planet, including where Bibi Netanyahu's brother Ido lives, he also sees it. We have to face every evening a gigantic lit Christmas tree standing next to this new missionary center. And all Christmas decoration, like lights and everything, is lit around their center until Nomi Street. And listen to this, the Yes Planet is participating in this because it's closed because of Corona. But in the evening, the planet lights its outer lights, so to speak. Everything is lit together with the Christmas tree and the Christmas decoration of the missionary center right next door. So the Yes Planet in Jerusalem is actually participating in idolatry, in Christian idolatry. It is open on Shabbat. When it is open, it's open on Shabbat. So you can't call it religious anyway. It's not kosher. There's nothing kosher inside. The Aroma Cafe is not kosher, the branch. The McDonald's is not kosher. The bar upstairs is not kosher. The whole building is not kosher. And okay, that's their decision. I have nothing against it. But now they are participating actively in Christian missionary activities by lighting their lights. So acknowledging Christmas, coming up Christmas. So yesterday I came home, I was out and then I came home and I see this from my kitchen window. So I look outside my kitchen window, I walk in, I don't know, look outside my kitchen window, not deliberately, but just, I just looked out, I passed it and I looked out and I see the missionaries setting up 3 Chanukiot right next to the Christmas tree. So they want to give you, they want to give the whole thing like a kind of Jewish touch. This is what Christian missionaries do. They like to have, like, of course, their Christian symbols and also Jewish symbols right next to it. Like you see many tourists here in Israel buying like these chains, these necklaces, not chains, like these necklaces with a fish and the Star of David, showing that they believe in both. Like they want to give it a Jewish touch, but they are actually Christians. They are not Jews. A Jew, like especially a religious Jew, would never wear such a necklace, and not the fish stuff and everything, which is a Christian sign. It's a Christian symbol. And so now we have this gigantic Christmas tree here, and right next to it, like on the bottom, so to speak, we have 3 Chanukiot, yellow, orange, and blue, lit in the evening. Is anybody doing anything? No. No one is doing anything. Not even the Yad L'Achim organization. No one is doing anything. And the center has been established in the summer, around June something. And I knew that it's coming because I saw some monks there, as I said before in my other video. But I don't know if this is part of the church or if it's definitely missionary. But it doesn't have to be part of the Catholic monastery next door. It could be also it's Messianic, and could be some Messianic Jews, so to speak, whatever. Or it could be anything. But I suspect that after Christmas, And once Corona, the whole COVID stuff is a little, not over, but less, so that then this new center is going to have its real activities. I'm expecting, not them to hang up a cross or something, but I'm expecting them, first of all, to throw brochures into our mailboxes, not saying, oh, why don't you come over? We are Christians or something. Saying, why don't you come for a free Shabbat meal? Or we offer, as they do now outside, free yoga classes. Or we offer shiurim. Or we offer this, or we offer that. And everything is for free. Why don't you come by? And this is the danger. People don't know. Israelis always underestimate the Christian missionary danger. And this is a big problem. And as I said, as an introduction, many people receive money donations, organizations, or whatever. Even the Kotel Rabbi Rabinovich received in the past money from Christian missionary organization. And he was not ashamed of going with these missionaries to the Kotel, to the Western Wall. Actually, there were Pashkevilim in Mea Shearim hung up about 10 years ago or something, accusing him of doing this. And he did. He was even, there were even pictures with him and those people in the mainstream media, on websites. On those websites I mentioned, or I was hinting to in my introduction. So another thing is, by the way, as I said, no one is doing anything. The missionaries here are spreading. And you can't really see what's going on from Derech Hebron, from the main road, because they sneaked here into the back behind the cinema complex. It's all behind the cinema complex. If you enter Nomi Street, you see everything. But if you're just on the main road of Derech Hebron, you don't see anything. Otherwise, thousands of people would have already complained. I don't know if anybody else complained. Maybe some people in my neighborhood think it's a nice view, like the Christmas tree and the Chanukiot, and maybe it's so nice. But you know what's strange? You come here, you make Aliyah to Israel, and you expect something Jewish. And what do you see? You see a little Christmas tree. So you don't need to make Aliyah. You can stay in the United States, you can stay in London, you can stay in Canada. You don't have to come here. So you move into this neighborhood, and the first thing you see at this moment, at this time here, it's a lit Christmas tree. So why did you make Aliyah? So another thing is, last night, actually the previous night, the night before, I published on my blogs, I published a live broadcast, a YouTube video, a live broadcast to the Kotel, to the Western Wall here, where also Rabinovich and other rabbis led the Chanukiah live. And I wanted to do the same last night. So I looked at my YouTube channel, and there was actually a live broadcast. They were just about to start. I look, and my eyes almost popped out. I saw, 4 or 5 sheikhs from the United Arab Emirates lighting together with Rabinovich and some other rabbis or representatives of the municipality or whoever. I couldn't really look because I was too disgusted. I almost threw up. So I turned it off and I didn't publish it. So there were sheikhs from the Emirates lighting the Chanukiah in front of the Western Wall together with rabbis. Sheikhs from the Emirates. And we have a big problem here now with this Emirate contract between Israel and the Emirates. It's not that easy. You have to understand the Emirates have an agenda. And one of their agenda is, and they've announced it, they don't hide it, they've already opened a real estate agency in Tel Aviv. And these Arabs, these rich Arabs, want to buy property in Israel. First of all, in East Jerusalem, and then they're going to spread. And whatever they buy, and there are enough Jews who would go for this because these Arabs show up with a suitcase full of cash. So Jews would also go for it. We had this already on the French Hill about 15 years ago when the Hebrew University sold apartments. They had used as dormitory for their foreign students. So they sold apartments, and Jews here from Jerusalem were interested in buying apartments. In walks an Arab, a Palestinian from a nearby Palestinian neighborhood, with a suitcase full of cash. He put this on the table, and the Hebrew University said, yes, we're going to take the suitcase. Why bother with mortgages and people taking loans from banks, and why wait for the money? Here we go. We have the money full of cash from this Palestinian, and we're going to sell him the apartment in the middle of a Jewish neighborhood. So this was a big problem about 15 years ago on the French Hill. It's a neighborhood in the northern part of Jerusalem. So Palestinians bought into a Jewish neighborhood. And now we have the same with the Emirates. And the Emirates, they are really stinky rich. They have much more money, and they can pay, 10 times as much as a Jewish potential tenant or someone who wants to buy property would pay. So also a lot of Jews going to go for this because, it's money. What do I care? It's money. If they pay me 10 million instead of 2 million, I go for it. And I don't know if you know this in the States, but the Emirates, a certain Sheikh, Khalifa or something, has bought 50% of the local soccer club here in Jerusalem, Beitar Yerushalayim. Beitar Yerushalayim, there's a long story about Beitar Yerushalayim. Sometimes they succeeded, sometimes not. It's a famous soccer club here in Israel. It's not as successful as Maccabi Tel Aviv, but it's Jerusalem, and they've in their history never had a Palestinian player because some of the fans are, you can call it racist or whatever, so they don't want any Palestinians playing for them. And even, as I said before, I think in another video, they also didn't have black players, or they do have black players, but they get shouted at, whatever. So now this Sheikh has bought 50% of this traditional Jewish soccer club because Beitar needs money. And in this country is, as soon as someone needs money, he even goes together. He goes together with the evangelical Christian missionaries. He goes together now with the sheikhs of the Emirates. No one seems to care anymore. No one seems to care. Also, our government not. The opposition not. I don't know who to trust anymore. It's very hard. You can trust in God. And this is all what you've got left. Unfortunately, you can't trust the municipality here. You can't trust anyone anymore. So the soccer club, 50% is gone. And now, not now, at the same time already, the Emirates also showed their interest in Hadassah Hospital here in Jerusalem. Apparently, they want to invest. Hadassah needs money. They lost all their money in this Madoff scandal years ago. Hadassah has no money. Sometimes they can't even pay the salary to their staff. Sorry. And they need money. They are desperate. So they even go together with the Emirates, with the sheikhs. Who cares? Who cares today? No one cares. And it's a time of Hanukkah when the Maccabim fought against idol worship and against foreign influences. And people light the candles in the evenings. The Christians here light the Christmas tree. And no one seems to care anymore. And what's wrong with this country? No one seems to care. Everybody goes where the money is. No one gives a shit. Okay, lighting candles in the morning. I go after whatever money. I don't care. So this is all I have to say. I'm really pissed off because this is taking place. I also wouldn't care so much if it was in a different neighborhood. Not everybody in our neighborhood can see this missionary ongoing here, but we have to face it because we've got our windows to the side of the planet. So we have to face it. So in the evening, when I have dinner, I have to turn around parts of my table because the stupid idolatry tree is shining through my kitchen window. I'm having here to the left, I'm having this missionary tree, and to the right, I'm having my Chanukiah. So this is This is Israel. This is Jerusalem. I mean, if it was in the United States, okay, so I could tolerate this, no? But this is in Jerusalem, in a Jewish neighborhood. It's not that we have Christians living here. We don't. It's a Jewish neighborhood. Well, the Planet, the cinema complex now is Christian idolatry. And I warn everybody once it is open up again to go there because the missionaries are around. But this is Jerusalem's, and sheikhs lighting the Chanukiah at the Kotel. This is Jerusalem's reality today, which is a disgrace. And everybody, I'm sure that these sheikhs last night, they left some money donations for the Kotel. The funny thing is that usually Muslims are not allowed to enter certain parts of the Kotel Plaza. Muslims are not allowed to do this. But last night, money talks. So if you give like a few $1 million or whatever, you are allowed to stand even next to the Kotel rabbi. Who cares? Who cares today? Money talks. So that's the sad reality of Jerusalem. And we have to make our best. Like, we have to remain positive and not concentrate so much on Erev Rav, wheelings and dealings going on, but we have to concentrate on ourselves and stay positive. Even if it's hard for me because I have this with a kitchen window. When you have this right in front of you, it's even harder. But that's it. That's it. So I just want you to know all over the world, whoever is watching this, what is really going on in Jerusalem and how people don't care. Many people, not everybody. Okay. Have a good day. Chanukah Sameach. And wherever you are, stay positive and don't look out of your kitchen window too much. Have a good day.